Stop it. Everyone stop fapping. All right, and welcome.
That's where it goes. Go with it. Go with it.
Yeah. Oh, hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Mastour Debatours podcast. Today I'm joined by the lovely Rich Leigh and Jason, aka Flickiify, and we will be joined by the king of freaking my player in FIFA 16, Bfordlancer, but he is out doing his job delivering pizzas right now. He is doing a service to the good people of Cleveland as they watch their beloved Cavs go down tonight in the NBA Finals. So I don't even... At least he's bringing some happiness to Cleveland.
Yeah, busy night.
Yeah, he'll be joining us a little bit later on. Hopefully he can get back from work safe and sound. But we are going to be discussing the hot topic that you've probably seen flood all of your freaking sub boxes lately from both career mode YouTubers, so basically anybody who does anything FIFA, just talking about the story mode and just what happened at E3, the big electronic, it's the gaming conference every single year. It's probably, I don't know if it's still the biggest, but one of the biggest gaming conferences in the world. All the big companies, Microsoft, EA, Activision, everybody comes in, shows off their big games. But we care about FIFA, and EA did their press conference, and they dropped all the knowledge. Well, they gave more, I would say, more time to FIFA and Madden than it seemed than anything else that they actually showed at their press conference. We're going to hold off on talking about the journey and the story mode because you guys have probably heard all about it. But let's go ahead and discuss it really quickly. We're going to be discussing specifically the EA press conference. What did you guys think? Overall impressions of the EA press conference regarding FIFA? Rich, go.
Ooh, that's a tough question. For a minute at the deep end there. Overall, yeah, I mean, they dedicated a lot of time to it, which was good. But a lot of the stuff we already knew about, because obviously the trailer on the journey came out early, and then a lot of the details were released before the press conference. So a lot of it was repeating details that we already knew. But then obviously they talked about new gameplay details like set pieces and new penalty system, so that'll be interesting to see how that works out in the new game.
Oh, and also, I want to ask you as an Englishman, they did something different this year. They actually split it up. There was both, it was a simultaneous cast. They had a big presentation in LA, and they also had a big presentation in London. Did you think that was pretty cool? I saw Chesnoid's hat in the audience actually a couple of times because they're very distinct, and then I saw him tweet out him and some of the FUT tubers were out there. Did you enjoy that? It actually worked pretty well, I felt like.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool thing to do, have two separate locations. Obviously, like you say, football's such a big sport in England, so it was nice to have the UK base there as well as the American one.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's why they kind of gave more time to FIFA, was because they actually split it up. Jason, what were your initial impressions of EA and how they handled FIFA this year?
Yeah, they took a different approach this year in that they released a lot of those individual videos, whether it be the journeyman, the journey story mode, or the set piece dynamics, or the gameplay trailers, and then it all kind of accumulated in that E3 press conference with Mourinho. So it was kind of repeating information, but it was still pretty cool to see. I'm happy with what's been presented thus far, and I don't think they're done yet. They still got a couple other gaming conventions coming up later this summer.
Yeah, traditionally, I think Gamescom is the money one for where most of the FIFA deets get released.
The one in Germany.
I was actually surprised because if I remember correctly, they barely said anything about gameplay last year, and they just wheeled Pele out onto the stage and then had the trailer about playing beautiful, and then everybody just made fun.
People love Pele.
Yeah, just Pele and play beautiful because he did play beautiful, but then FIFA 16 didn't play beautiful. So.
Very true.
Yes, so if we go on the same track record, every single year, it seems whatever they try to pimp out at the EA press conference at E3 turns to shit. So they talked about last year they talked about play beautiful, and then I would argue that it was the worst passing FIFA that I've ever played.
Yeah.
And then the year before they talked about redefining goalkeepers, we're finally gonna fix them. And then
they were the most broken they've ever been.
So
what's
this
the one
year
this
is
year?
a little. It was the story mode that they're really pressing.
What's their big slogan though? That's my question.
Own the moment.
Own the moment.
Own the moment is the tagline. Own every moment, which I guess, is like they covered all their bases, or every moment you play this game will be shit. So
We will see.
yeah, which is a possibility because I want to move on to a little bit of. They're installing a brand new engine, which is the Frostbite engine, and by all accounts, we're all pretty hyped about it. A lot of us were like a little bit skeptical, but then when we saw that first teaser trailer, the big ooh and ah was Eden Hazard's face, and it was like, ooh, it's so close. But we were like, all right, is this really in game? You know, like, is this gonna be photorealistic in game and whatnot? But even I'm gonna use Chestnut again because he was saying that like, hey, we're getting all hyped, you know, over this face or whatever, but it just could be pre-rendered. Like, who cares about a pre-rendered face? We've been seeing this again, you know, like Watch Dogs and all that stuff. But he went to the press conference and I watched his vlog quite recently, and he said that no, it actually in game he played a couple of games and the faces do look absolutely gorgeous, and that's good. That's great to hear, and I expected no less. Like, Frostbite is used in game for the Battlefront engine. Say what you want about the gameplay in that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. All the models and all, you know, the environments and the sound is incredible in that game. But here's the thing: do you guys think it might suffer from what Battlefront kind of suffered using the Frostbite engine? In that, like, it's very pretty, but they spent a lot of time making things pretty, and then didn't really develop like the gameplay modes and whatnot. Do you think there's a little bit of threat, or do you feel like there's a good amount, like there's a strong enough engine that they could just kind of carry it over into the models? Jason, how you feeling?
It's a good question. Finding that balance is obviously very difficult because for me, like, gameplay is the most important aspect. Yes, graphics are awesome, but I mean, I can go back and play, I don't know, FIFA 12, FIFA 13, some of the best gameplay if you like fast-paced FIFAs. And the graphics weren't as good as they are now, but, you know, you still enjoy the game because it just works. Or even, like, throwback Super Mario games, you know, it just works. I hope that they found a good balance. But in regards to the Frostbite engine, I'll post a link to this right now. Some guy made a concept art for pretty much tattoo concepts in FIFA 17, and I just imagine like what they could do with that. Could they implement that into My Player? Could they implement all that into Pro Clubs? There's like so much room for customization that I really hope that they take full advantage of that.
Oh, yeah, I saw this on your Twitter earlier, and this would be
like, there's so much they can
sick.
do with it. I just hope they do.
Get some sleeves in it. You know, we appreciate the long sleeve. We appreciate the undersleeve, but tattoos, man. What's the worst tattoo do you think that's in football right now?
That's a good question.
Yeah, there's some pretty bad ones. There's some pretty bad ones up there. Rich's mind is basic.
I'm thinking about, is it Vargas that's got the Jumpman tattoo on his neck? That's a terrible tattoo.
That's pretty bad. I know Kevin Prince Boateng has a couple bad ones. Is he the one? I think one of them has like the red lipstick on the neck, or am I thinking of someone else?
I'm not sure.
It might be. But I want that one. I just want terrible tattoos. But I can already imagine.
Can we just put our YouTube avatar on our tattoos? Just customize ourselves.
Oh yeah, just have
advertise ourselves.
Just have like the Be Modest as a tramp stamp back here.
That'd be hot.
Amazing.
That'd be hot.
I mean, that would just be my face, so that would be kind of weird.
Your face.
Would you have like just like lower back? Yeah, make it happen. But let's talk about stuff that actually I would say is confirmed now. Let's go more into actually before I want to go into that. What did you guys think of Jose Mourinho actually popping up? Now there was a little bit of not gamesmanship. There was a little bit of showmanship saying the 3 most legendary managers in all the world are out there. They posted a picture of course, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, and they're actually and Arsene Wenger, and there was actually like spattering of boos in the crowd, at least from the UK, which I think is the only time I've ever heard boos in an E3 press conference ever. But I guess it's allowed, and apparently like the guy was clearly a Liverpool fan, and then Jose Mourinho walks on the stage. It got a laugh out of me. And it was a little bit cheeky. Did you guys appreciate Jose showing up? Rich, you're a Man United fan.
I appreciated Jose showing up, yeah, but I thought like the introduction from the Liverpool fan was kind of lame. Like, I don't know, it was a bit cheesy and just a bit over the top. I didn't really enjoy that so much, but yeah, Jose killed it. It was amazing.
What did you think, Jason? Did you appreciate Jose walking out there?
Agreed. He was cool as a cucumber, just his slow walk. And then I don't know, there's just something about Jose Mourinho, man. He had it on point.
Yeah, definitely. Although I totally agree with you, Rich. Like the spokesperson he seemed like a sleazy car salesman that had rehearsed the lines
exactly.
like one too many times. He was just like, "Hey Jose, I bet your son really likes Ultimate Team." It was like, has he spent any money on them packs? And then Jose's like, "Yes, I control the debit cards," and like all that cheesy stuff. But I was speaking right before this of like, I swear I'm gonna go back and watch it, but I'm dead sure that the spokesperson for EA, like when he said, like I was like, has he spent any money? Like he rubbed his hands together greedily. He's like, I bet you have spent that money, and it was just like such a weird Freudian thing. I was just like, oh, it was like I felt disgusting like watching this like at that time, but. I don't know. Did you guys feel like that was an okay joke, or is that? I feel like that's kind of a slap in the face of like all the fans that have just ever said that like, oh, all EA wants is for us to spend money on packs, and they're just kind of the spokesman for EA is literally just on stage like rubbing his hands, just like, yes, good.
I'm currently looking for it now.
Yeah, definitely check it out. But yeah, I thought Jose was good. I was laughing initially because I thought they'd give him a little bit more to say, or there'd be a little bit of more to him. But he literally said like three things out there. He was just like, oh, like all the other managers and whatnot, and he's like, oh, thank you, you gave my son a free code to play.
It was
FIFA
mainly just the
17.
EA guy making awkward jokes, and then Jose occasionally like chipping in. But
Yeah. It was okay. Was this better than when they wheeled out Pele last year?
yeah, I reckon so. Because that was just weird, kind of weird and awkward. It's just like, how do I know where he is? It's just kind of confusing.
Yeah, he's a little bit old. I think Jose is
Yeah.
a little bit more up to date.
They're more with it, yeah.
Yeah. And then also at the presser, we had the real life Alex Hunter show up on stage and give a very, I guess, enthralling performance. He gave a performance. Let's just say that. Yeah. Rich, how did you feel that the actual, like, I don't know this guy, and I was asking you, maybe he was someone famous over, over the pond, but apparently not.
No, like my first response was, this guy's definitely a stage actor. I've never seen him before. I don't recognize him, and he was just overdoing it like he was on stage. And the whole time I was just like, this guy has got to be a stage actor. That was all I was thinking about the whole time he was on stage acting. I was just like, this is so over the top. Why are you doing this at this event? This is not the place to be acting like this.
Yeah, it was very distracting. I was live streaming this probably illegally. I did not have permission by EA or anything, but I just like posted it up on YouTube Gaming, and I was just like, I was gonna commentate over this, and the whole entire thing I was saying, it was just like, dude, this isn't like a theater show. What are you doing? Like, that was and then my second initial reaction was like, holy shit, Alex Hunter is really old in real life. It was just like broke, because in all the CG footage and stuff, he looks like he's 16 almost.
Yeah, he looks like a really young guy, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then he kept on like puffing out his chest, just like, and this. And it was like, nobody talks like this.
You should be like the next bok choy theatrical actor. That was pretty good.
That's what I do in my spare time. Yeah, and that. Yeah, I actually, if you guys don't know, like I come from I did like theater, like in college and in high school. So like for that, watching this, it was just like I was just transported to high school drama all over again, and I was like. Like when I hear him talk and in the pre-recordings he's fine, but like on stage he was just like, what are you doing? This is a video game conference. It was pretty ridiculous. Did you enjoy his over-the-topness, Jason?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I embraced it. I thought it was pretty hilarious, so yeah.
Like unintentionally.
I watched
I was just confused.
Yes, I was also confused. I don't think it was intentional in that aspect, but when I watched it about an hour ago, I found it very amusing.
Yeah. It was just awkward because his like mic wasn't taped on like appropriately.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, come with me, and then he just like ran into like the tunnel, and then I was just like, he's like the over exuberant guy at like a Disneyland that is trying to sell the ride that we're all about to go on. I'm like, yo, calm down.
Tone it down.
Tone it down, Alex Hunter. But yeah, all in all, how would you rank it? Would you say that this was a better showing than they did at E3 last year, or did you enjoy last year's a little bit better?
Oh, I probably prefer this year just because they seem to reveal more and there seemed to be more to it. Like last year didn't really tell us anything, to be honest, whereas this year we learned quite a lot about the game. I wasn't expecting to find out as much about FIFA 17 as we did, so I enjoyed it personally.
That's true. Jason, which one did you enjoy? Play beautiful, or did you enjoy own the moment, own every moment?
I feel like they dropped more in this year's, with like if you were on Twitter when a certain trailer was released early, then yeah, that just sums it up. I mean, there was so much hype, and I think people are genuinely excited for this coming one because they've added a couple new game modes.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we probably, like, a lot of people did shit on story mode, like, those are the same people that have been saying for years, like, oh, 2K has a story mode, 2K has a story mode. It's like, why don't we get a story mode? And then we finally get the story mode, and then they're fucking like, oh, well, you could only play as these players, and why is you only Alex Hunter? And, like, all this stuff's like, fucking shut up. Like, we got a story mode.
I think we should be happy with what we have. And who knows, they might make other improvements to other aspects of career mode. I really hope they do. I hope that this isn't the only improvement they make because there's still a lot of things that need to be addressed in career mode.
Yeah.
But it could also come. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
It's pretty early.
They showed like the press conference aspect of the Journey career mode, didn't they? And I think that's something that could maybe be in like regular career mode. So yeah, we just got to wait and see. Really,
we had managers on the pitch. Why not give managers the dialogue wheel? But we'll get into that later, right, B?
Yeah, well, we're going to get into it really quickly. I just wanted to say one last thing on that is for all the people that were bitching about, 2K having career mode. At least this person, Alex Hunter, has a human name. Like, Alex Hunter is infinitely better than frequency vibrations.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, there's...
Take that, Spike Lee.
Yeah, take that, Spike Lee. Jesus. You're a genius in some parts, but that was... just no one has ever been named frequency or vibrations. At least I hope not. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into other stuff that basically was announced more on the site. They kind of breezed over it. They had the guy from actually, I believe, is it EA Toronto or EA Montreal? It's the Canadian team. Yeah, the Canadian team that goes ahead and makes EA FIFA. And they went ahead and went into the gameplay improvements. I'm going to go ahead and post that up on the screen right here. And this is their moniker, Own Every Moment. Last year was Play Beautiful, and I believe the year before was Feel the Game. Oh, goddamn, that gave. Yeah, the Run to the Camera was pretty much the only thing that they really did in that game. But we're going to go right here. They're saying, take every opportunity, set piece, rewrite. So, set pieces... hasn't really been all too different, but apparently they're going all in. You can now do direct free kicks. Customize your run-up on free kicks to create more variety in the spin and movement of the ball. You can now deliver worldies, like outside of the foot direct free kicks that bend around the opposition. And then there's new corner kicks. A new targeting system for corners lets you pick out teammates with greater precision and change the way teammates move as you deliver the pass. Switch to a player in the box, and now you have the teammate pick you out for the perfect header. And there's new penalty kicks. So you can move freely in your run-up before. You kick the ball and approach from different angles and different speeds and put some personality on your penalties and take control from the spot. And then user throw-ins. I don't really care about throwing, so we'll touch on this right now, guys. Out of these, you can touch on direct free kicks. I love what they're saying about customizing. The way that you run up determines like the spin and the movement on the ball. How do you guys feel about basically new ways to do free kicks or set pieces? Not all at once.
Okay, well, I think Pro Clubs is going to be pretty lit next year. I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing Bok Choi's amazing run-up stance. It's going to be like 1 in a million. It's going to be amazing. I'm actually really excited because I think it was like maybe 2 FIFAs ago, FIFA 14, You could make like custom corner kick tactics, which was a little bit annoying but kind of cool at the same time. So as long as they moderate and make it so it's not game breaking, I'm totally for it, because let's be honest, FIFA 16 corner kicks, they're not a thing. Or very rarely a thing.
That's my biggest fear about this, is exactly what you just said, is that I feel like if you're able to customize the set pieces and the set plays that you can do, is that people, the way that they play this game and with the ferocity that they play this game, is going to find a way to cheese the shit out of it. And there's going to be that one set piece cheese that everyone's going to rock. Although EA have been very good, I give them credit this year. They listened to us when we told them that like it is fucking insane. Anybody who even gets blown on in the penalty box falls over and you get a penalty earlier on in the year. They fixed that. Passing was absolutely atrocious at the start of the year. They fixed that to an extent. It's still, still a little bit iffy here and there, but for the most part, it's a lot better than the product that we started with. So I hope that anything that us as gamers can come up with cheese-wise, they can counter. But that is the ultimate, that is the ultimate fear. But I love it. I want to be able to score new types of worldies and new types of free kicks especially, and I want to see the likes of like Payet just absolutely banging them. Rich, are you excited about any of these free kick tactics or set pieces?
I'm interested to see how it works out. I mean, in the current game, on corners, people basically either play it short or to the edge of the box. So at least it'll provide a bit more variety next year. Like, corners will be different every time, hopefully. And then also, you could change the position that you're taking it from. I don't know if that's just on free kicks or if it's on corners as well, I don't really know. But anyway, I'm also really terrible at free kicks. So hopefully I can improve.
It's your chance, buddy.
It's my moment. Everyone's like at the same level now. So we've got to start again, and hopefully I can master it this time.
There you go.
I don't know if it's on set pieces, but I know on corners it's totally revamped. So it's not a power and you lining things up and pointing. There's a crosshair that you aim it. And I think that's the same way on penalties too. Is there's a crosshair, I think, that you aim it, and then if you just, and it depends on how much pressure that you put in a certain direction. If you take your thumbstick off of it, it'll snap back to the center of your screen. So it takes a little bit of finesse on where you want to put it now. I think Ches was talking about it in his video, that saying like he couldn't get a handle on it right away, and it was a little bit difficult to put it where he wanted it, but for better or for worse, that's kind of the system that they're going for. And I think a more accurate system, because as you said, like, corner free kicks are a little bit dull. There's not much that you can really do off of them, and it's kind of a low percentage coin flip if you get it, good contact onto them. So I mean, that's pretty cool. And the same thing with new run-ups on penalties. Penalties this year, for better or for worse, actually, I don't know if that really needed a revamp, but it's pretty cool. If I could chip the keeper in different, in more fancy ways, maybe a Rabona,
yes, Rabona penalties,
something.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if that really slow walk-up's going to be a thing. Pogba does it sometimes.
Oh, that would be please don't put that in the game.
Yeah,
literally
that's what I'm a little bit afraid of, because I think that's gonna happen.
Everyone's gonna.
That's the first thing that came to mind for me when I saw that was being added.
If you haven't seen the Pablo walk-up, it's
just like the little walk-up
legend, yeah. Just the cutest, daintiest little walk. You can imagine, like, fucking, I don't know how tall he is, like 6'2" or whatever. Like big old Pablo just doing the daintiest run.
You're crouched doing that? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and absolutely, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Just doing a mini robot up to, and then actually kicking it is pretty much what it is. Look it up on YouTube.
Celebration, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. But we'll move on. Let's go into the next thing right here. On besides free kicks, is a physical overhaul, which is physical play overhaul, and this has a lot to do, mostly I would say, with the Frostbite engine. With a new engine comes new physics. This could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, although I kind of miss the old days of KSI Fosruda, like when just randomly, like, a player would just jettison, like, shot out of a cannon off of the pitch. When they run into each other. Do you remember that shit? Like, people like 14, amazing. I think. Yeah, just a random tackle, and then the guy would, like, either fly into the air or, like, fly across the pitch. It was crazy. So physical play overall, a transformation in the way players interact, in all areas of the pitch. Control is now in your hands as battle for space as you battle for space and possession. Pushback tech. Pushback tech innovates in trapping, dribbling, physics, and defending to create true-to-life battles for position and the ball. This is especially important when you want to control the ball and buy time for your teammates and make a run to get into a supporting position. New physical interactions. Player interactions come to life in realistic details across the entire pitch, like goalkeeper collisions, across-body tackles, 50-50 tackles, jostling while the ball is in the air, and ball control while shielding. And then 360 shield dribble. New proximity-based shielding will help you fend off opponents and keep possession. Defenders can be shielded out as you dribble in any direction. So basically, rewriting the LT button is what this sounds like. For you guys aren't doing that, it's basically like shielding the ball and new physics. From the two people, Foothead released it as well, a preview. They got their hands on an early build of the game, saying that defending now isn't as clumsy. Like, you can feel that when you take possession of the ball, like, you take possession of the ball. It's a lot easier for you to cut off and then just, like, shield the guy as well. I didn't really hear too much offensively of somebody using these physical traits to battle for headers or whatnot. But it sounds okay. Rich, do you have any concerns with this, or does this just sound kind of business as usual, them saying that it's going to be more physical?
I mean, with the new engine, it could be a disaster, but it's just something that we'll have to wait and see when we get our hands on the game, basically. I honestly have no idea without playing the game. I couldn't really comment, to be honest.
Yeah. Jason, how do you feel about the physical stuff?
You know, I like the addition because I feel like FIFA 16, it relies too much on agility and balance. So the likes of Messi and Insigne, they're just amazing on the ball. But I hope next year, you know, some of the stronger players, which is an important part of the game in real life, they can perform a little bit better and they can really use that strength and use it to make themselves a better striker or midfielder or whatever.
Oh, yeah. That is actually a pretty good point in that strength, I mean, it's important in this year's FIFA, but not as important as, say, I think agility and dribbling are just king this year.
Yeah, if the player doesn't have balance as well, they're basically unusable in this game. Mm-hmm. Like, Ronaldo, I feel, is kind of terrible for the second best player in the game, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you would think that they would give him a little bit better balance, but Messi is the cover boy, which... if this is true, I'm kind of happy that Messi's not on the cover. Like, I'm sorry, he's the best player in the world, but I'm kind of sick of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind a little bit of new blood on there. I think that'd be cool if all four of them were on there. It's actually a pretty cool graphic of, like, all four of them being on there.
I think that could be the case. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, man, I hope so. So there we go for the new, the new physical engine. It sounds good in theory. But I mean, the skepticism in me is they say shit like this every year about like be more realistic, like you're gonna be able to defend. I think last year they showed that graphic at Gamescom of like you're able to like slide, tackle in, and then steal the ball away and not have it bounce back to them, which they did improve from FIFA 15. That is true. Like, often you would just tackle it and they would go right back to them. But still this year, like, if you slide tackle and you hit the ball, that thing's, like, flying. And it's basically, it becomes a 50-50 ball of who can get to that first. So we'll see. I look forward to goalkeepers running into defenders or attackers and getting tangled up, and then them not having to move for them just being tangled up for the rest of the game.
Manuel Neuer is just going to be the best goalkeeper in the game, just destroying people as sweeper keeper.
Oh my god, that'd be great. Him just like tangled up. There's gonna be like all those like weird. I can already see it now. Like all those like weird like monstrous amalgamations of people just wrapped in each other and then like kissing each other and humping each other. It's gonna be Frostbite engine at its best.
As it's the first year as well, I'm kind of expecting some massive disasters, like massive pile-ups of players just occurring everywhere, basically. I hope that's the case anyway, because that'll make the game a lot more fun, but
make for some good videos too.
Yeah. We can only hope. I remember this year's been pretty good glitch-wise. They've had the Ignite engine for a while, so there's not that much. But I do miss it, like the FIFA 14 days of getting shot out of a cannon. Or I remember distinctly, or people just walking around with ginormous hands for some reason. Or the invisible player.
Is it FIFA 13 or FIFA 14 where quite often the the ball just would be invisible and you'd play a game without a ball.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember that,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I
Or
remember
invisible players, even. That was a thing.
invisible players was the thing. I remember there would be occasionally like you would kick the ball out, and then your guy would just be running for the ball forever out of bounds, and he would just never get it, and then you just had to quit out of the game. I think that was the most depressing. I remember sitting like 5 minutes in a game, like please get the ball.
It still happens occasionally, except I think they finally realized, okay, if nothing happens for, I don't know, 5 minutes, they just do a reset and finally things figure itself out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've had times where the game just glitches out when it shouldn't.
Yeah, I had one instance where the referee booked me, and then my player and the referee were just spinning in circles for about 5 minutes.
I've seen that one.
What's going on?
That's great. They're just like you me spin off to see who gets the card. But yeah, it's a brand new engine. It looks great. Like if I could, I think we're gonna pull up some. Well, I'll just pull it up later. Let's just move on to new attacking techniques, and of course the lovely man himself, Anthony Martial, is the cover boy for this one. You have new options in attack to give players more ways to create and finish in front of goal. Driven finish and new shot mechanic lets players keep the ball low in any situation, finesse volley, or when simply slotting it home. I can see this being pretty OP. Threaded through pass, curve, precise into space, create new scoring chances with a precise, perfectly executed threaded through pass. Driven goal kicks. This is pretty interesting. Start a quick counterattack by passing it from goal with power and direction. And then downward headers. Greater control in directions, allowing players to head the ball down and into the ground, making keepers work harder. We're on next gen. Where has downward headers been this whole entire time, right?
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I never really noticed it. But yeah, there's no real such thing as a downward header, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the looping header, there's the kind of the power header, and that's kind of it. I don't know why it took so long to do this, but out of those, like what new attacking techniques? They always say, new precise through balls, but it's the same through ball every single year. They're effective. It's not broke. Don't change it. I think through balls are pretty well balanced, I would say, this year.
Did you watch the Foothead video, right, where they were saying that through balls are basically really OP again? I think that's what they were saying, basically, that people were pinging through balls. Yeah, but
no, he was saying no, like Tiki Taka was really OP. Mm-hmm. He was saying that the precision in the passing in the midfield is that you could do kind of a ping-ponging where if you just ping-pong it enough, like the defense can never get to you. And that's kind of what Pez goes on. Like I love that type of passing. That's what I kind of
really
like.
not my game, but
yeah, it comes down to preference. Like when I hear that, that's music to my ears. I was like, that's all I ever want to do is just like pass triangles through the midfield and then get that one final through ball and then you're 1-on-1 with the keeper. But other people like to play different ways. You could argue which style is more fun in the end, but once again, I prefer that over the passing system that we have now. Anyway,
it just doesn't work.
Yeah, although Ches played it, and then Ches said that he just said that it was slightly better than the whatchamacallit than the passing system that we have now. But he says that the passing, like, it's not that the passing is that much better, it's that the amount of shit touches that happen are far less.
That's good to hear.
I think that's very true of, like, you can have the attack and then you have a split moment where you need to take something first time, and the amount of times where you want to fucking throw your controller out the window because your guy takes a huge heavy touch and then he has to recollect the ball, and then you already have it loaded up for him to do the pass, and then he does a huge wind-up and then passes the ball. By this time, there are two defenders in front of the guy that you wanted to get it to, and you're like, well, fuck this game. Well,
that's why I just basically don't pass in this game. I just run around with one player, and that's it.
It's one way to do it.
You're a wise man. But Jason, how do you feel about the driven kicks, the driven low shot or whatever? I mean, technically you can kind of do it. Well, you could do a low shot, but you can't do a driven low shot, I guess.
Yes. I like the customization and all the different kinds of things you can do. Like, one thing I like about NBA, the 2K series, is that there's so many on-the-ball dribbling you can do, and if you can really master those kinds of dribbling, then you can pretty much have a set move for each situation. And I hope that's something that can be implemented to FIFA 16 or FIFA 17. However, I think it's going to be a lot of the same. People are going to stick to what they know, and that might change over the course of the career mode, or not career mode, the life cycle of FIFA 17. But yeah, I think people are going to stick with what they know. It's going to be a lot of through balls. It's going to be a lot of the classic finishing.
Yeah, classic finishing. Well, we'll figure out. I mean, as a community, we figure out what's the best way. Like, at first, in this, finishing was pretty difficult. But it always seems like finishing is pretty difficult at the start of any FIFA, regardless.
Yeah.
And then
you have to learn the new system, so you have to kind of get used to it and stop doing the things that worked in the last game, basically.
Exactly. Like, you kind of have to learn the proper systems or kind of like retrain your mind into the positions that you know have a higher percentage of scoring. Like, early on in this one, it was like near post OP, and then after a while we found out that it was like crossbody OP was the way to go.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I'm totally with Jason on this one. Like, any more variations to score. I've been saying about this like for years. Like, more creativity, anything that allows for more creativity and variation in gameplay, I think in this type of sports game is good, as long as it's not overly complicated. I would say, like, I would just like more animations, and some people might argue against this as like, no, you should have like a certain level of skill to take on these sort of moves. Like, no, I'm okay with if I'm Messi and the thing flies over my head and I try to back heel it, he does that automatically. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to do 3-button configuration and have to claw at that thing to get that back. I just want him to do it. He was just like, he's the best player in the world. Let him do it. If a guy doesn't have a high enough rating, he's not going to be able to do it. Yeah. That's kind of what I want, and have different variations, which I love. I love anytime you're like facing away from goal and you get the ball and you try to like no look back heel it into the net. I love that type of stuff. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see, if the ball's behind you and you're streaking in on a cross, you drag your back heel and try to back heel into the back of net, like Welbeck does, that Vardy does. A lot of great strikers have that ability to back heel it into the back of the net as the ball's played a little bit behind them. Like, those types of new, more dynamic finishing, I would absolutely love to go ahead and see that, and actually be able to chip the keeper in, like, if this makes sense, like, when you chip the keeper, you can only chip the keeper if it's like perfectly placed or if they're like running out at you. If they're in net, and then like, I get it, you're not supposed to be able to chip the keeper, but there are plenty of times when the keeper's like coming out at you and doesn't really slide, they like try to get big, and you can still chip the keeper in real life. I'd like to see a little bit more chips return.
Absolutely not to the FIFA 10 level.
Oh, no. Yeah, that was
every chip was a goal.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. Even last season, even last year, I remember career mode chips were a little, like, the keepers were a little bit broken.
If you knew how to do it, it was one of the broken things. Yeah.
Okay. And also, I guess we didn't really touch on this. Driven goal kicks, I think, might be the biggest advancement in this, because that's often the thing, is like, you catch a ball and then you just punt it deep and then you pray for the best. But a driven goal kick was an essential weapon that a lot of real life teams use. I could definitely see that. That's going to redefine quick countering attacks in the game. And downward headers, I think we expressed that should have been in there already. So, good job. You don't get credit, EA, for doing something that you should have done.
Well, they've caught up to the times.
Yeah, good job. Finally. Good job, guys. Active Intelligence System. The cover boy for this is Marco Royce. And then it says, a brand new system introduces constant spatial analysis, increasing activity off the ball and changes the way players move, read, and react. Constant spatial analysis, this kind of goes over the same thing to make new runs. New run types, smarter players, and increased activity off the ball give you new and creative ways to open up opposition. Orchestrated runs, had a burp. Orchestrated runs with multiple player, fake runs, stunt runs, and calling a player to show support are just a few ways for you to take control of the build-up. What the fuck is a stunt run?
Yeah, I don't think we can really talk about this because, like, we don't know what it is.
It just sounds like the usual FIFA BS where you play the game. It's like, oh, it's the same thing again.
It's what the computer's doing. Like,
yeah.
The computer should be where they need to be. That's like, if it does that, I'm happy.
Yeah. Although the Futhead, once again, the Futhead guys that actually did get to play it said that they actually noticed that they were making a little bit more intelligent runs, and also seeing that multiple players making a run is nice. Although I
Well,
hope.
in pairs, like the reason I didn't really get on too well with pairs was because it seemed like it was too easy. The players made runs that were too good, and I hope that they don't do the same thing in FIFA, where it just felt like you weren't really playing the game. You're just kind of waiting for the computer to make the perfect run and then tap the pass button at the right moment. It just seemed too easy. It didn't feel like there was any real user input. It was just the computer doing everything. So hopefully it's not like that in FIFA as well.
Yeah, it is gonna be tough, like, because they always. I think it's sexy to talk about new ways to attack and new passing and creative runs. It's not as sexy to talk about like smothering defenses. You know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
it's just not as entertaining. Ronaldo's always gonna get more shine than Hummels. So it's. I hope they always do this where there's like, oh yeah. There's these new attacking stuff, but the defense usually is king. Like if you're good at playing defense, it's always going to be pretty tough to go and break you down. So we'll see. But yeah, I agree with you guys. It's kind of the same rhetoric, year in year out. More intelligent runs, more intelligent AI, better passing, better ways to finish, and better physical engine and whatnot. So we'll move on to the big thing that is inarguably something brand new to the FIFA franchise. People have been arguing it for people have been asking it for years. Maybe it's not the exact shade that they wanted it. That's not a racial thing. But here we have, in FIFA, we have Story Mode, aka The Journey, aka Alex Hunter, aka the Marcus Rashford story. The trailer leaked. The trailer essentially leaked for it, I would say, like about an hour before the EA press conference, and if you were on Twitter, it's exploded everywhere, and by now on YouTube, everybody and their mama has said a million things about, Alex Hunter and all the complaints. But I'll just get your initial reactions. Jason, how do you feel about the introduction of Story Mode to the FIFA franchise?
Simply put, I think it's a good thing. Whether you're going to make videos on it or not, I don't think that matters so much because, yes, like look at the NBA 2K series. If you watch one series, it's going to be roughly the same as another series because, regardless, it's going to end at the same point. But it shows that they're putting some sort of attention into career mode. And in my mind, that's a good thing. It's going to bring more audiences to career mode, and it's going to help us prosper in the end.
Yeah. Rich, how do you feel about the Alex Hunter story?
I agree. It just shows that they still care about offline game modes. People quite often seem to say, they put all their attention into FIFA Ultimate Team, don't care about career mode, don't care about offline game modes. They just want to concentrate on game modes that are going to make them money. But this does show that they do care and they are going to be making progress. And I'm excited about it, not just because of the journey. I'm not that bothered at the moment, but it's just the implications for the future, really, that I'm quite excited about.
Yeah. I think you definitely nail a huge point in that they finally did something that wasn't FUT related, and they're pushing that to the forefront, man. Like, I cannot agree. That's a fantastic point that we always say that, like, they only care about money, they only care about FUT because that's the only thing that brings them money, and they finally did it. They did a story mode. Still at the end of the day, they're still motivated by money, and I think we actually have a lot to thank NBA 2K for. They saw that model worked. NBA 2K rarely pimps, Ultimate Team. Their huge thing, their tagline last year was "You are the story," for 2K last year. So this is pretty much it. This is pretty close. It's like the journey or whatnot, or you are the legend or whatever, essentially. But do you feel like it is a little bit limiting, but that's how it's gonna be? It's not, you can't do the same thing you can in like a Madden or in a 2K because there's just too many fucking teams. There's too many teams. There's too many leagues. I'm sorry, if your country wasn't included this time around, but as systems go, it could further expand to different countries and whatnot. Hopefully, maybe localization in the future can help with the MLS, the South American countries, as well as Germany, France, Italy, and so on and so on. But for now, I think it was a smart move by them. You know, they get in the biggest. It's the most watched, league in the world. It's the most popular league in the world. Us as YouTubers know the insight that it's very hard to get views on YouTube if you're not doing a BPL team, unless it's one of the big boys rich. With Real Madrid and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like it is a little bit limiting. Are you guys okay with him? Just you always have to be Alex Hunter. You always have to be in the Prem.
I'd prefer if you could customize the name a little bit. Like you could change to your own name, maybe customize the face as well. I don't really want to be this set as this one guy, but I'm not too bothered that it's just the Premier League. I mean, it's the only league that they've got full licensing for, so it's the only way they could really do it, to be honest. But yeah, I wish that you didn't have to be Alex Hunter and that there was some kind of leeway. I don't know what it's going to be like with regards to positioning, though, whether you have to play one position and that's it, or if you can at least choose what position you play in. I'm not too sure. But yeah, it is quite limited, and it would be nice if there was a bit more customization.
I think there were shades in the trailer that you can play different positions only because he talked about like sliding in Messi with the perfect through pass as well as scoring, and then you also see him do a goal line clearance. So there probably is possibilities, but in almost all like my players, you're not playing defender, so you're gonna be playing striker, winger, or a midfielder, most likely, maybe a keeper. If you're Tim. But Jason, are you okay with being Alex Hunter? Or would you like a little bit more?
I'm not too bothered. I would have liked a bit of customization, but the fact that it's only in the Premier League this season, like Rich said, they have licensing rights to the Premier League, so for their like set storyline script, they're best going to be able to do it in the Premier League. So that makes sense. And I think in future seasons or future FIFAs, they can maybe expand it to the MLS. That'd be cool if you can get licensing and start in the MLS and eventually work your way over to the Premier League or something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. It's going to be... Bok choy. Yeah. Well, I'm totally with you, Jason. Like, I understand that for it to work as a narrative, it's going to be a lot stronger of a narrative if all the voice acting and all that stuff says your name. Of course, there are examples like, well, even in Mass Effect, your last name has to be like Shepard because everybody calls you Shepard and that kind of stuff. But there are games where basically they never mention you by name and that kind of stuff. But I don't mind it. You play Alex Hunter. Hopefully, the story justifies you having to be this person this whole entire time, and it's kind of cool that you can play at least for any Prem team. But I hope you can change your number, or not. Even then, I don't really give a shit about, if I'm going to be honest. As long as the story feels immersive, as long as I feel like, I am, I can put myself in the shoes of an Alex Hunter and his story is compelling, and it makes me feel like what it's like to be an emerging star in the Prem. That's my dream, man. Like that. If I could go back in time and choose my place in the world to be a budding star in the BPL, is pretty fucking up there. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, but I just wish that the rising star that is Alex Hunter wasn't actually about 30 years old.
Yeah, in real life.
Yeah.
But it's still better than having frequency vibrations being, for me anyway, a tall Asian guy who has a black sister and a black dad. Like, that was a little bit more awkward. Or like any other, I think that was kind of more entertaining, was watching white YouTubers or non-black YouTubers do
when Flick did a video on it, and I was just like, okay, this is kind of weird.
It was pretty
kind of
weird.
Entertaining at the same time because it was so weird. But
yeah, and it was so off for you guys who haven't played 2K, because like he has the voice actor of it's a black guy who does the voice acting as well. So it's just like you just looking like really like try hard. And but even then, like if you were black, like the dialogue was kind of cringy. Like, regardless, like, it seemed like the lingo is about, like, a decade behind. Then Spike Lee. He's kind of probably a little bit out of the cool kid loop, as is. But hopefully, he doesn't have to be all too cool kid. It seems like they're going for the more dramatic route of, like, you're a bright rising star, and then you have to avoid all, like, kind of, the distractions and tropes of what usually can bring down great young players. So... We'll see. We'll see, man. Let's see. But I'm with Rich, man. There are other cool things that hopefully can be integrated into the system, much like as you mentioned earlier, the dialogue wheel, actually having voice. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at it right here. They actually list all the players that you're gonna be able to talk with in the game, which is interesting because players like James isn't in the Prem, but I guess eventually the storyline puts you up against Real Madrid. I guess if you go into the Champions League, or as well as you could play him when he's in Colombia, I guess. So as I can see, I'm going to go ahead and scroll in right here. Experience life in the Premier League, and then you can introduce Alex Hunter, and then as you can see right here, you can see that the background changes as his kit changes, and then you can see kind of what he does right here. I really hope that the dialogue wheel does have certain impacts, just like they do in 2K. Like you can raise morale and stuff. Like the choice that you can have right here is, well, my thing just crapped out. Okay, the team played well together on any given match day. Any team can win. I always give my team a chance to win. So you can kind of give more, like leave it up to luck, put it on you, or give credit to the team. And then you can see right here, authentic storylines. So we see Harry Kane doing voice capture, voice and motion capture, and he's definitely looking at a script. I can see it right here. So we get to look forward to see them act. Hopefully that's good. But they do an okay job in 2K. Like when you interact with like Curry and stuff on the court, they say a couple things to you. So Harry Kane, James Rodriguez, Marco Reus, Eden Hazard, Montiel, Dele Alli, and Marcus Rashford and Reece Oxford are all people that you're going to be interacting with. So I'm guessing with the likes of Dele Alli, Rashford, and Reece Oxford, maybe you'll be in like the youth system with them. Like you'll come out of the same class and stuff, which could be a pretty cool experience. So I'm looking forward to it. But we'll move on to, I guess, a certain aspect of it. What do you guys, because we're content creators, how fucking saturated do you think it's going to be?
There's going to be too many people. Like, pretty much all of the Ultimate Team YouTubers are probably going to give it a go just because it's a new game mode. There's going to be so many people that have probably never even touched offline game modes before on their channels, just giving it a go for the fun of it. Like, oh, this is something new. I'll give that a go. So yeah, everyone's going to be doing it. There'll be hundreds of people doing it probably.
Yeah. Speaking of which, people that love to do story modes, Bford says he just got off of work, so we're going to try to go ahead and add him to this call. I might do a quick cut right here and see if we can actually get him in. Let's see. All right. Cut. All right, guys. So we are back through the magic of editing, and joining us live is Bfordlancer.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Good to have you on, Mr. King of My Player on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Go.
Oh, this is awkward. No, I just want to say that, I totally forgot about this at the start. But at any time, guys, go ahead and click anywhere on our beautiful faces, anywhere within the borders, and that'll go ahead and take you to their channels. Everyone here creates lovely, lovely career mode content. And speaking of which, we have a brand new segment for Reaper. We got breaking news with Bford right here. He was watching the Castro stream. What can you say? What is there to report? What was Castro saying about the E3 press conference?
All right, so I got a couple of things. First is new celebrations they're adding. I only heard about a few. So we got the dab, of course. I heard it was going to be initiated, and I heard BMO. I heard you were going to show us what that celebration was.
Oh, I do finger dabs. That's what I do. I can't be too old. I don't want to hurt myself.
Also, there's one other one. I heard you can jump on top of the score, the little scoreboards on the side of the field. You can jump on top of those. So those are the only two confirmed that I've heard of. And then also the throw-in. I know you guys didn't talk about that, right? So the throw-in technique, where when you get the throw-in, you can move a couple feet to the right or a couple feet to the left before you throw in the ball, kind of like in real football. So
okay, that's good because I literally earlier was like throw-ins.
Yeah,
who gives a shit? But
it's a small thing that hopefully will I don't know. It seems like it'd be a good idea, a good thing to add it. So
that's cool. I mean, the dab definitely expected.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the Gundam style of next year. Everyone's gonna stop dabbing by next year. I think the dab was pretty much over. Cam Newton just retired it. Hillary Clinton was doing it at some press conference where she was like, Like,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
she was looking
I didn't even
so
see that.
fucking confused. The
I didn't
whole
even
entire
see
time.
that. Wow.
Yeah, look that up on Google.
I don't know if I want to, but
I want to
It's-
check that out.
It might, you know, I'm
But
not a
I've got a
supporter.
feeling I might have nightmares about it. To be
I'm not
honest.
a supporter, but that might make you want to vote for Trump. That's how bad the dad was. That's all I'm saying. And for the jump on like the little side things would be cool. Only if you know, like if you do the knee slide celebration, sometimes you kind of fall on your face.
yeah.
I want it so that if you jump on those like little things, that sometimes your
fall on
player
your
just
face.
bites it and falls over. That would be amazing.
Oh my
Personally, yeah. I hope. Hey man, Frostbite Engine, get it done, and that's it. That would be pretty cool on the whatchamacallit. Oh, you also said you had some news on cutscenes. Spoiler alert! I guess we'll put up.
Yeah,
a
spoil. Well,
alert.
it's not like too big of a spoiler alert. Like one of these things I heard from Castro's stream. He was streaming at E3 today, so I was watching a little bit of that and talking about because he's obviously played the game before. And then I read somewhere online one of the cutscenes. So did you guys already talk about the Walker dude? How there's going to be a second character named Walker, or whatever, who's kind of like your friend or like rival, and he's going to be on whichever team you go to. And then he talked about one cutscene where you're coming off the bench, about to be subbed on, and there's like three options. You can tell your manager like I'm ready to go, or like I don't know all they were, but so that was one of the scenes coming off the bench. And then I read this somewhere on a website. I don't know who wrote it, so it could be total BS, but it seemed pretty legit. So it was a cutscene where your guy was being loaned out, and then like Harry Kane like came in to be your replacement or whatever after you got loaned out. So I don't know if that's like completely true, but those are kind of like two things that I've heard. So
that could be true because we've seen the photos of Harry Kane actually doing the face face capture and him reading a script. So there has to be times where you have to interact with them, and that sounds cool, man. Like that's definitely really interesting. For you to guys have a rival, kind of like Pokemon-esque. Jason, Rich, how do you guys feel about the dab or these new cutscene developments? Jason, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I'm excited about having the dab. It'll be very enticing to go ahead and do that after scoring a goal. And I like the cutscenes. I just hope they keep going along that kind of stuff, like developing actual plots, and it'll be cool, like a story, like a movie.
Yeah. Rich, do you like the thoughts of the cutscenes?
Regarding the rivalry, I saw the Walker shirt hanging up. I think it was in like the England dressing room or something, but I just assumed it was Kyle Walker. But obviously, but obviously with the rivalry, the first one I thought it was Pokemon as well. So yeah, reminds me of my childhood.
I think in the 2K series, like I think 2 years ago, I think you had a rival. I'm not sure about this year.
You did.
You had a rival.
It was. I think it was 3 years ago. I remember playing that.
Yeah, but I remember that was really stupid because like you would if you killed it in your rookie season, he would still just be kind of mediocre and he would still talk trash to you. It's like shut up, like go away.
Like the way they do it this year though is like I'm pretty sure he's on your team, so it's like it's like a rivalry like between you two, but you're on the same team, like you're competing for that starting job or whatever, the starting striker position. So
yeah. That's pretty good. Was there any other stuff that Castro was saying since he played the game? What was his input or initial input on the game?
What did he say? He said there's some new skill moves. He couldn't like say what they were, but there's new skill moves. He said the game feels a little bit faster. He said the precision dribbling isn't as good as it was in FIFA 16. And I'm trying to think what else. I know he said he played a bunch of games. He was talking about one thing like he just kept saying it over and over again. I don't know why. He's like, one word to describe this game is Ibra. Like, I guess Ibra is just like so OP. So kind of like pace isn't as much, but like he said this is one thing that's really cool. There's gonna like new shooting styles, so you can shoot a ball and it'll put like downward dip on it and whatnot. Ooh. Like you'll be able to control all that, so that should be pretty sweet.
Hey man, that's music to my ears. I'd love to see. That's what the game needs is more of those dipping shots when they hit him off the volley and those beautiful like who's that Joe Cole like in the World Cup. This is probably before your guys' time. Rich remembers that one like volley that Joe Cole hit that went so fucking high. Yeah, like once again, look it up on YouTube. But that's all freaking music in my ears. That is What do you guys Jason, what are you feeling? Are you a little bit more confident in the game now after hearing these things?
I mean, we'll see when the game comes out. It sounds good to me though.
Yeah, definitely. But if that's all that you have from breaking in with Bford, well, go ahead. You are the current king of my player on them YouTubes, and this is, as you said it on Twitter, this could be either a really great thing for you on YouTube or a really bad thing for you on YouTube. What are your thoughts on story mode, man?
So like I've wanted story mode forever. Like I mean, my player, it's been the same thing for like I don't know 3-4 years. I feel like it's just been they haven't done anything to it. And I guess this is sort of a separate mode, so they'll probably still have the my player mode. But is that what you guys heard? Same thing.
I think that's the general assumption.
That's the assumption, but it's a little bit iffy, and that's the kind of the scary thing about it is that with them installing the new Frostbite engine, when they move to a new platform, they sometimes exclude modes that are on the previous gen. But that was on jumps from next gen. This isn't a jump like to a brand new game console. So hopefully they hold on to the regular my player, but it is a little bit of a risk. But I don't know, man. But I would assume they have both modes. So,
because like if they didn't have the like just the regular my player mode, that'd be terrible. That'd be like the worst case scenario. But the thing, like as soon as the story mode's announced, it's like wow, there's gonna be so many YouTubers doing this. Like everyone and their freaking mother is gonna be playing the story mode. So it's just gonna be a big ol' I don't know, because it feels like once you've seen one, you've seen you've seen them all. I know there's different choices, but I don't know. That's what I first thought when like the story mode was announced.
Yeah, we definitely right before you came on echoed those sentiments exactly. It is going to be the thing, like the most saturated thing when FIFA 17 comes out. Everybody and your mom, you better get early access if you want to do any of this on YouTube. And there's probably going to be people that aren't even in the FIFA scene that are going to be doing these as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like definitely like Chris Move. I guarantee you he's going to do one. Big time NBA 2K player. That's one of the people I thought of.
And definitely, I was just thinking, I was like, man, Chris Smooth's going to do one. There's no way I could do one better than him. Like, fuck, he's probably going to do one. I could even see, like, people like Smosh or Achievement Hunter getting on it because it was so prominent at the EA press conference. It was kind of like the big thing at the EA press conference, too. Like, I even saw it on people's shows, like Philip DeFranco show just today was talking about it. Really? So, but, I mean, he's admittedly a FIFA fan, so... We'll see, guys. I'll go ahead and ask around. Rich, are you even going to attempt to do my player, or will you just play this kind of like offline?
I'm probably just going to play it for myself. Like Bford said, like it's going to be the same for pretty much everyone. There's going to be hundreds of videos on it, like especially in the first week, like during EA Access. So many people are going to be doing it that I could try and get ahead of the crowd, but you can't really. There's going to be such a big crowd that it's going to be different. It's probably just going to be something I'll do in my own time, to be honest.
Yeah. Jason, are you going to think about putting one later out, or are you going to just play it on your own?
I am not going to post it on YouTube.
Yeah. I think you got a legit shot because you're the My Player guy, but you got to get that. You got to get that early access and definitely.
Yeah, I'm planning on like right when it's available. I'm going to get that thing up as soon as possible. Like I'm getting episode number 1 up as soon as I can, and like I don't know, we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't pan out well, I'll play the rest on my own, and that's why I'm hoping the fallback is they actually have the My Player mode in it, so I can continue doing what I'm doing now. So
yeah, and honestly, hopefully. Like I hope that way too, because it's. I was saying this the whole entire time when everybody was harping about like story mode. It was like you do realize that if you do story mode, like it's. And this is more primarily, I was seeing like career mode YouTubers saying this, like we want story mode. It's like you do realize that if we do this, it extremely limits your creativity with the mode. And it's, I don't know, man. Like, but you do have an advantage because I believe Americans actually get access a little bit before Europeans.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. If you do the EA access. So, but what the big guys do to get around is they just get American. They just get American.
Switch it over.
They just push it out. But definitely got to get on it. The other option that I would say as like a content creator, what I would do for myself, I'd like to play this like by myself or maybe play it on a stream or something, or wait until like all the hype has died down over the story mode, and then release something about like 3 months in or 6 months after the actual release of the game mode to kind of because then you're the only fresh like version of
that could be
there.
that could be something to do, but yeah, we'll see what happens. It's just like it's just gonna depend on like how many Ultimate Team YouTubers actually want to like put this on their channel. Pretty much, I don't. Yeah.
But the sucky thing about it is like it only takes one, like like to really dominate like all those views and stuff. Because as you said, there's not a lot of replay value, and once you've seen the story, this isn't Until Dawn. You know, like it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be. For sure. That freaking different, which is a little bit sad, and A9's gonna do this. You know, it's right up his alley.
Like he hasn't been in the My Player. Like he tried to do one this year, and I mean, he still got like for like if I got those views, like that's pretty crazy. But he put it on his second channel for a little bit, and he just killed it right away. So I mean, at the moment, it's like there's not many My Player YouTubers for FIFA 16. It's and then next year it's just gonna be like everyone's doing it. So
yeah. But hopefully,
I think most people would probably give up on it after a couple of weeks or so. Like it would be crazy at the start, but then it'll probably die down quite quickly.
Yeah, it's whoever gets that first big bite of the pie is just going to keep on chewing it for as long as they can, and then everybody else is like, well, didn't hit the YouTube lotto, so oh shit, I just took all my headphones out, but But yeah, hopefully, I mean, I think the big hope for you is that what they integrate into story mode, they take some of those elements and they integrate into My Player. That would be the general stuff. And for us guys to integrate it into career mode, it would be cool.
Yeah, I'm just hoping one thing to add is the like changing the accomplishments. Like you can upgrade your player how you want. Like that's the only thing I want. Like that'd be like crazy because you'll have to play. It'll be like play 50 matches and then like your sprint speed goes up +1. Like we want to be able to just like upgrade each stat specifically, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, like 2K system. So you earn points and then you can just kind of inject it into wherever.
And I don't need, like EA could do that so easily, and they always want all the money. I mean, they could just do like 2K. They have the I think they call it VC or whatever, and you could actually buy VC to upgrade your player. Like so, you could start out your My Player if you really wanted to spend the money at like a 99 overall if you wanted to, but if they added that, that'd be something. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree with those sentiments. I think Masterbucks has released a video on this, saying something very similar, like 6 months ago, saying that 2K has the best system, and if they want to monetize, career mode or offline modes, that's definitely the way to go. And I would love that, to do. And not only you can use that, like the level of swag that's in like 2K. Like on and off the court, like the licensing that they have on their boots. EA, step your boot game up, man. You used to be so good at your boots, and this year it looks like we're wearing Uggs. All the materials look like we're wearing Uggs, man. You spent that money, or maybe they didn't spend that money. Maybe Nike gave them that money just to have them in the game, but you did not. Frostbite Engine. Get the boots right. Come on, man. You make Martial, like, with all the sweat beads look amazing. Please, get some cool looking boots in there. But beyond that, were you impressed by anything else that they showed? Did you like all the gameplay mechanics that they were showing Bford? They talked about the new driven shots, the new shot dynamics, new intelligent runs. They didn't really say too much about it. They kind of, like, glanced through it. Was there anything else at the EA conference that kind of sparked your interest?
I mean, like, not like it was more just like what I've heard about the game from the people who've actually played it. Like, it just seems like it's gonna, like, the game mechanics, it's just gonna be cool to see everything probably like be a lot different than it is now with the new Frostbite engine. Like, whether from dribbling to shooting, all the new stuff they add. I feel like the game, like gameplay wise, just My Player aside, I feel like it's gonna be really fun.
All right, yeah.
Next year.
Yeah, I watched Ches talk about it. I watched, Futhead TV talk about it, and generally everyone's been saying rather positive things about the game so far. It's early days, but I think it's cause for cautious optimism after hearing, especially from you, especially what Castro said. It sounds a lot better than it has been in past years, but we'll see. It could be the same old FIFA, just with a prettier shine on it. Or it could be something different. But we'll see in September, I guess. But for now, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us, guys. Sorry, we could only have Bford on here for a little while, but we'll be having you back for the My Player pod, and you can kind of go. You can probably do like a wish list of things that you'd like to do and talk about VC when we go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead. Let's plug the shit out of it. What is going on everyone's channel? Rich, what is up with you, man?
I'm still same old Bayern Munich career mode. I've got my Leicester City title challenge career mode and the Oxford United Road to Glory. And obviously the Euro 2016 tournament as well.
Yeah.
That we're all involved in, so.
That is true. Before, what's going on with you, man?
All right, so we got the Euro tournament first episode coming out. Well, probably already passed by the time this is posted. And then we got the American Legend series, which is the My Player featuring the striker, which is like with storylines, GTA, Sims 4, and then we got the goalkeeper career mode, also storylines, Sims 4, and that's currently it at the moment. Probably gonna maybe do another series to finish off FIFA, but we'll see how things go.
And Jason?
Of course, the Euro tournament, which I'm in with all of you, and B Ford is in my group, so we'll be facing up very soon.
Yes.
And also Season 2, Liverpool. Get hyped.
Get hyped. Is there going to be any bitey people joining you in Season 2?
You'll have to watch the video.
Oh, we'll see.
I hope not.
I just came up with an idea, B Ford, and this is a pitch to you. You're the king of the My Player. So, if I remember correctly, and this is probably going to be it, your storylines with Alex Hunter is probably...
I think I know what you're saying. I think I'll just stop you there.
Okay.
I think I'll just stop you there because I think I know what you're saying.
We'll discuss this off screen then. Okay.
Yeah.
And as for me, you guys are probably subscribed to my channel if you're here. If you're new, go ahead and click on B4, Jason, and Rich. Go ahead and click on all of them, subscribe to them because they bring you very, excellent career mode content. We're all in the same freaking tournament together, and it's going to be a lot of fun collabing with all these guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And, see you later, guys. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Peace.